On the starting line, we see the three-time world champion, Shirley Muldowney, attending her first drag race since that horrendous accident over a year ago. She hopes to be able to return to competition in 1986. Shirley is watching two racers she has competed against many times, Joe Amato and Gene Snow. Qualifying in the number 5 spot, Gene Snow defeated Hank Endres in round number 1, while Joe Amato, the number 1 qualifier, defeated a former world champion, Gary Beck, in that first round of racing. Joe Amato is in the far lane. In the near lane is Gene Snow. A great start for Snow. A tremendous race, and Joe Amato, by less than a car length, wins it 5.60 seconds. His speed over 252 miles an hour. That advances Amato, who is currently number 2 in the world points chase, into the semifinals. This is Dick LaHaie, winner of the Gator Nationals this season. LaHaie is racing Gary Ormsby. The last time Ormsby tasted victory in NHRA competition was the 1984 Winter Nationals. Joe Amato checking over his car after that second round win. He knows if he is to repeat as the world champion, he has got to make a move at this race trying to catch Don Garlits. But now on the starting line, it is Gary Ormsby. Ormsby qualified second, some of the best performance of his career at 5.51 seconds. Dick LaHaie qualified 6th at 5.60 and defeated former pro football star Dan Pastorini in round number 1. The crew chief on Dick LaHaie's car is his daughter, Kim. She performs all the heavy work, all the tune-up work, along with her dad. Two of the finest independent racers in the country. Another independent is Gary Ormsby. He's in the far lane. Staging into those electronic light beams across the starting line, ever so gently, and a great start for Dick LaHaie. Can he hold off Ormsby? It's going to be close, and at the finish by just a few feet, Gary Ormsby wins it. Ormsby, 5.63 seconds elapsed time. His speed over 256 miles an hour, and that's one of the closest races we have seen all day. At the starting line, you see LaHaie's advantage. LaHaie in the left-hand lane pulls ahead of Ormsby right at the start. But Ormsby, reaching deep, finds some horsepower and pulls ahead, taking the win.
Well, a lot of the pre-race talk has been about Don Garlits and Connie Coletta and Joe Amato, while this man, Gary Ormsby, has been very quietly running his quicker than any of them. Gary, you're going into the semis of 5.62.
Yeah, I need a little bit there. That was a close race.
Yeah, you were behind a little bit right at the start, it looked like.
Yeah, he may have got out on me a little bit there. I didn't want to take a chance up there. I knew I had the power, and like I said, I was getting to wonder a little bit, though, towards the end there. It was plenty close.
You know, you won the Winter Nationals a year or so ago, but there's nothing like winning this one.
Oh, I'd love to win this, Steve. It's for the guys, and they're the ones making this thing run today, so we want to win it for them and for everybody.
Right, let's go back to the starting line right now, Gary, and see who you're going to race in the next round.
Steve, Gary Ormsby will be concentrating on the next pair, but most particularly this young man, 23-year-old Darrell Gwynn. Gwynn racing against Bob Simmons, doing a dramatic side-by-side burnout. Darrell has already made it to the finals of an NHRA national event this year, losing to Don Garlits at the Summer Nationals. Here he qualified 4th, defeating, as we saw, Diamond Dave Miller in round 1. He's racing the number 16 qualifier, Bob Simmons. Bob had an easy go of it in the first round as his competition, Bill Mullins, was unable to keep his engine running. That problem started on the final day of qualifying as Mullins suffered a horrendous blower explosion, exploding into a ball of fire, creating a lot of problems for the Mullins and John Kerry crew. They worked through the night trying to get the car back together into competitive form, but in the first round, Mullins was unable to keep the engine running, and it was a gift for Bob Simmons. He calls himself the New Englander. Simmons has got to be the underdog in this race. He is utilizing the only Donovan racing engine in competition today in the nitro-burning classes. Darrell Gwynn in the near lane. Simmons trying to keep control of his car as it heads towards the center line, and it is Darrell Gwynn. The crew responding enthusiastically to the 5.57-second win. It'll be Gwynn against Ormsby, with Darrell Gwynn having lane choice. Joe Amato against Don Garlits. Amato getting the lane choice by the quicker elapsed time.